Good evening, and thank you again for clicking on my channel. Um, I just finished watching Marty Supreme. I'm trying to catch up on some of these nominated films, which I try to divulge in every year. And look, honestly, the most of these films that are nominated, and I don't know who's choosing these films, are quite boring. I'm going to be honest with you. They're quite boring. Um, but with that being said, again, I do try to, watch these films and um, talk about them when I can. This is going to be the first year that I actually, because this is my channel, it's pretty new, and so this will be my first year of watching, reviewing, talking about it, and then once the Oscars come around, you know, see who won and were they worthy. And again, these are my opinions. Everybody has their own opinions. So anyway, let's just dive on into it, shall we? So this is based on um, Marty Mosser, who Timotei, I guess that's how you pronounce his name. I just say Timothy, whatever. People are so like um fucking stupid these days with their names. Chalamet, he plays Marty Mosser, a young man with a dream no one respects, goes to hell and back in pursuit of greatness. Um, they want to call it a period drama. So you have, as I said, Timothy, Gwyneth Paltrow. I think this is her first role back into the scene of acting, if you will. She kind of retired and then now she's back. Um, she's she plays Kay Stone. She played an actress who then she retired, which kind of like fits this perfectly for her right now. Like right on the nose, right? Um, I'm not familiar with this actress, but Odessa Azion plays Rachel Meisler. Again, I don't know some of these other people. I don't know their names. But you got Tyler the Creator playing Wally. I don't know if this is his first. I don't know if this is his first role or not. When I watched it, I was like, he looks familiar, but I don't want to be like, is that so and so? Fran Drescher, she plays Marty's mother, Rebecca. Sandra Bernhard. Um, she plays Judy, and I don't know who Judy is. Like, if this is like literally based on a true story, whatever. But I want to say she collects the rent. Like, she's in there not very long, so I'm just like, all right, whatever. Um, yeah. Anyway, so this got like a really great rating as far as Rotten Tomatoes is concerned and whatever. Like, it's a 8.1 rating. And look, with most of these people who they rate movies and whatever, I'm on their same page basically. Um, and I again I'm an honest person. I'm gonna always be honest with everybody. I think Timothy is a very overrated actor. Right now, I feel like he's been in everything. I don't think he is like the greatest actor ever. I don't think he's the worst actor ever either. Um, but I don't know. I just like he's just everywhere right now, and I'm just like okay. And honestly, He don't appeal to me. But I'm not in that minority of like where you have like these young teens and like they're like, oh my god, it's Timothy, like they're just like swooning over him. I'm like, yeah, who cares, right? Anyway, I'm gonna read a few reviews and then I'm gonna give like go over it with you. So one of these, Jules Bro, um, interesting name, but he says overrated, and I can basically agree with that. Josh Safdie's, which is basically the writer and director of this film, cinema has often been defined by acceleration, by bodies pushed to the limit of their own nervous systems. Here, however, velocity becomes less of a structural necessity than a posture. Timothy, who plays Marty, is conceived as a figure of permanent um, agation, a subject without integrity, whose arrogance and immaturity are not so much explored in as in necessity, where it's reiterated. The film observes him, but never really truly interrogates the space that produces him. The secondary character, Gwyneth Paltrow, um, who is like she's a Hollywood, like she's was a very Hollywood famous actress, but then she kind of like disdained herself from the crowd, and eventually trying to get back into it. Odessa, um, who is very wounded and basically traumatized by the femininity of the opaque presence of Koto, enter the frame with a certain conceptual sharpness, only to remain suspended at the level of signs. There are less characters than figures, less bodies than functions, the system of circulation, desire, power, spectacle. Um, yeah, he's got a lot going on here, but um, basically, to sum it up, it is very overrated. I'm not going to read all of this, but another one. I'm going to think it. Okay, I'll try to do like three more, and then go into how I felt about it. Um, this one they gave the first one they give no rating, but this one gives a 6 out of 10, which I might do that myself. And they wrote a lot too. Okay, while the performances are certainly good, and the frantic and energetic cinematography and spirit of the film are nice, the story itself feels lackless, and I want to definitely agree with that. A young man pursues his dream of becoming a table tennis champion, and along the way, there are challenges. That's pretty much it. Nothing groundbreaking. It's basically a common sport film we've all seen for the umpteenth time, made and soothed that masses. Throughout the runtime, I remember thinking that it's both too long and contains things that work. Quite a few times, I wondered when the film would conclude. I definitely felt that myself. I'm like, this is a long ass film, and it could have definitely been down to like 90 minutes, maybe a little longer, but I want to say 90 minutes really. It was just too long for like a fucking table tennis film. I don't know. Anyway, the film should have been table. They put in parentheses tennis for editing. The acting across the board is good and charming, with Chalamet doing all he could here, and Paltrow giving a subtle wisdom turn as glamorous movie star. But the film does ultimately feel overlong, melodramatic, and quite formulaic. It's just another underdog aspiring to be champion film that is just doesn't quite stick its landing. Just because it's based loosely on the life of Marty Reseman doesn't automatically make it an interesting either. It doesn't feel as inspiring as it aims to be. The action scenes often feel unearned and like we're added to solely for shock value rather than feeling organic. There are scenes of characters yelling and fighting over basically nothing, and the subject matter, table tennis, is not its in itself all that compelling. Well, yes, while the way of the sports scenes use film and engaging and dynamic, and it's these scenes where the cinematography shines. Ultimately, you're kind of just watching a guy hit a ball back and forth across the table. The main character is ornery and isn't really likable rather than immature for much of the film, which can be hard to watch. These are the scenes involving a paddle and a butt and felt kind of out of place. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Again, it's a lot to read on this, but definitely agree with that as well. This next one, a six. They say tiresome. Ultimately, not a bad film. Luckily, this is pretty short, so I can get through this. Not as bad as the other ones. Not a bad film with some great supporting actors, but let's face it, this is a Timothée Chalamet starring, produced, and promoted vehicle for Timothy and nobody else. And it is a letdown in that regard. A um, a letdown because there are amazing talents in this film that were pushed out of the way and suppressed. Sandra Bernhard, Fran Drescher, to name a few, when one realizes the film is just a vehicle out of another another Chalamet Oscar nomination, and it sinks and stinks. I have to agree with that one as well. And last but not least, Relentless. I love these. I love them so much. I would love to get shout outs for these, but I don't know um their names, so I can't really give a shout out. So anyway, this one says it's the same beat over and over, pound to pound. Chalamet is an amazing as always, but this character is so unlikable and mean spirited. I didn't find it enjoyable to watch someone walk all over. Uh, Someone walk all over other people for his own gain. The final scenes felt contrived and seemed to ask the audience to forgive too much. I was exhausted by the end. Yeah, all of these I definitely agree with, and here is my my 2 cents. What I got out of this film, and um, that was. Will they show the length of it? I don't see it. Oh yes, it is 2 hours and that's way fucking too long, and it felt much longer, but that's a fucking long ass film. Look, um, Marty seemed like one of these arrogant assholes who just thinks like he's so entitled. He's earned this because he's been working so hard at it. And there was a guy actually telling him, he's like, you think you're so entitled to everything. There are people who worked harder and have much less than you, and they're very comfortable with what they have. You act like uh, people should just like lay at your feet and give you this and that just because you're like working up to something. No, that's not how the world works, and I'm sorry. So, as much as I don't know anything about this Marty guy, and I probably could care less to be honest with you, but it was very long. It was kind of boring. again, the acting wasn't bad, but look, I'm not a Timothy Chalamet fan. Okay, I'm not gonna rush to the theater just because he's in something. Um, Now with that being said, like the movies that he has been in, yeah, they're fine. They are fine. Are they Oscar worthy? No. In my blunt opinion, no, I don't think so. But also, um, they're not trash either. But this film, which a lot of people are thinking like he's gonna win for best actor, and you know what? He just may. He just may. But I do feel like there are other people out there that are probably much worthy of a nomination, if they're not already nominated. I had looked at the list, so I don't really know who's nominated. I'm kind of behind. Look, I got other shit going on, so it's not my main priority, you know. But um, yeah, um, I don't know. It just it didn't give me anything to like, oh my god. And that's what I mean, like when people who were like nominating these films and these actors for um for their role and everything, I'm just like, I'm sorry, were there not anything else to not be nominated? I'm just like, this is just, I don't know another word to say but boring. I'm gonna give it 6 out of 10 because yes, the acting was good, but it was lackless. Um, I'm not gonna remember this film. I will never go back to it. I don't know. Like when I think of movies, and this movie's actually nominated. Um, I'm not too sure if he's nominated. If he isn't, he probably should be. But Sinners, that was a great film. That's a movie, and also I think it done more than Titanic did the year that it was nominated, as far as receiving the most nominations that a film could receive. Um, yeah, so you got maybe like best actor, maybe uh, best music, best cinematography. What I don't know, all the the genres that there are. Um, but yeah, I don't know what else to say about this film, but it's just yeah, Blacklist didn't move me. A friend of mine mentioned because he said he watched all the movies, and I'm not watching all of them. I'm just gonna watch like the main ones that are like nominated for like best actor and actress and whatnot. Um, but he says like this, along with One Battle After Another, which I have to watch as well, are really long films. He told me to watch this one first, and when I see him next, I'm like, don't don't give me anything to watch again. I'm really gonna tell him that. But yeah, this movie did nothing for me. Um, mm-mm. I thought like Begonia when I watched that film that it would have, you know, did more than it did as far as like receiving noms and whatnot. But yeah. Anyway, I don't know if you've seen this film. Let me know your thoughts and concerns. But it's the comments. Give me your thoughts and comments on this film. Um, and if you haven't watched it, do you plan on watching it? If you are into watching the Oscars, and yeah, um, but yeah, that's kind of all I got for that one. I was like, I hope this ends soon because I was like literally falling asleep trying to watch this film, And I apologize for the lighting. I did not want to go into the other room just to film this, so I apologize. I'm so sorry. But yeah, you get to see my stomach and everything while I did this. So you're so welcome. Anyway, I'm gonna work on this. But that's neither here or there. You didn't ask for any of that. Um, but with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful and fantastic evening. Yeah, I'll see you on the next video. All right. Thanks. Bye.